Welcome you guys back into my nice and beautiful podcast. I just realized something recently that now, since I'm here, I understand my voice is getting better. And now since it's getting better, I understand my sickness is going away. And I have no sickness. But the thing is that now, since I've just been able to, let's say, recoil myself to speak my programs, I'm understanding either way that you guys have to understand if you lose your voice, then you have to be silent about life, and you have to also realize they can happen, where you have to realize that what happens is if you just practice and practice and practice on audio, eventually what happens is the more you speak, the more you can lose your voice. But guess what? I promise you now, over time, your voice comes back and it heals, and your voice comes back stronger. I mean, in a sense, if you lose your voice, at first, it's because you have I'm pretty sure it's because you have a weaker voice. But if your voice comes back, which it always does, apparently then you have a stronger voice because your voice did collapse before. So just realize that the more your voice collapses on you, then realize your voice will heal, or as your voice and throat does heal your voice back. But what you have to do is you have to be patient, and you have to understand either way, especially when you have a sickness. And what you can do with sickness and losing your voice is understanding that you never have a sickness and never lose your voice in the first place. But make sure either way that you're never screaming off the top of your lungs all day long, because that does enable you to lose your voice. And now, because I'm speaking so much these days, I'm focusing on making sure that I can go and be more productive in what I'm doing. But because I understand now that I have to go and lead people, I have to make sure I'm doing my music production also. And now, because I'm doing my audio production now, I understand that what I want to do also is I want to be able to go just out the back in terms of my nice and beautiful backyard and start making this music. And now, because the music I have is so good, I have to make sure I can do the vocals. I have to make sure that I can do some structures here and there and some progressive sounds. And then I have to go and create a new track as well. And then I also have to go and listen back to everything to make sure that no matter what, that everything's nice and beautiful. So what I do now is I just realized that you guys have a nice and beautiful coaching tool here to understand that no matter what, that everything that I do is personally just in one audio program. And now why is that? Because I understand when I give it to you, I've done my job. I've done my job. I've done my lessons. I'm making sure that either way that you guys get more than enough of everything in everything. So I'm making sure that no matter what, that I can go and really, really dwell upon a better life. But if you somehow feel lazy, if you feel lazy to turn your head or to go somewhere or to do something for yourself, then it's because you have to go and talk more. And you have to talk more, and you have to talk over it. And you have to be able to understand that no matter what, if you're sick, then understand to never ever go outdoors anywhere and just stay indoors. I promise you now, you must understand that if you go, if you go and do something great for yourself every single day to focus upon overcoming all that, every single day to focus upon understanding that you need greater habits and you need to talk up people, and you have to understand that if people want you, then they come into your life. But because they never want you, then it's because they never want you because of your words. You understand? Approach, that's it. Approach, if they never want you, it's because of the words you say. Understand? So all you do is you stick to the words that you say and realize that you're just better than them. Understand? So realize that what you want to do every single day is focus on becoming yourself in a way that you're very new, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you're just making sure that you're never afraid of losing your voice. But if it happens, then go again and lose your voice and lose your voice and lose your voice. And then guess what? Then you get stronger and stronger and stronger for giving information anyway. So make sure you understand that you never lose your voice, but just keep talking and talking and talking. And then what happens eventually is you get better and better and better upon what you want to do. And now, because I'm able to come and talk to you in an audio program like this, I'm making sure you understand that no matter what, that there's so much to go through and there's so much to talk about. But I've been getting ahead. I've been getting ahead in other ways. And now, because I've been getting ahead in other ways, I have to also understand I have to physically write sometimes. And I have to be writing physically. But I understand how annoying it can be. Because I understand that no matter what, that I can do it faster on audio programs. So I understand either way that there is a time and place for actual writing physically. And I do love to write physically. But the thing is, I love to do audio programs also. And I understand either way that I never hate anything. I love everything equally. I make sure either way that what's important is understanding that you must grow. And because I have a seminar coming up, I have a beautiful seminar coming up. And now this seminar is an 8-hour program where I just go and give my best information about everything in terms of communication and what I've learned about success and how to give people what their money worth is in terms of life. And it's more how you ask for it. I mean, if you're asking for that money, then it's your money. I realize now what you need to realize is more how I feel to give people an information product on a day. I realize this information product helps people to satisfy their hunger and need for success. So make sure to bring that to people all day long to make sure that everybody has a greater time for themselves. But as you have a greater time, then guess what happens? I mean, make sure you understand that you have to go and really, really dwell upon a better way. But if something's looking at you in a physical format, in a way that they want to have sex with you fully, then understand it's very attractive when you can speak over that, or when you can actually look at that and just be able to speak over it. Because what happens when you speak over aspects of life, and then you actually become something much more worth it. I mean, how is that possible? I mean, how it's possible is making sure that you understand that if your sickness is going away, then it's because you're coughing less. And then you're making sure either way that you're always pronouncing yourself in your word and what you are every single day in a better way. I'm understanding how alone I am today. I'm very alone. I have nobody else except I. Now, you must understand that. Throughout my life, I only have my word I. I have nothing else. And I understand that no matter what, it's everything anyway. But people are going to come into your life and they're going to be leaving in your life very soon. So people in your life come and go, but you're the one who stays with you forever. I mean, in a sense, so yes, I understand how scary it can be. I understand that no matter what that your parents, in terms of your biological parents and people in terms of family or friends may pass away in your life. But guess what? Life goes on, doesn't it? You must understand either way that you've been living without Jesus Christ for a certain period of time. I'm sure you can go and live without other people also. I understand, although, that what I mean with Jesus Christ is he's never here physically, but he's here spiritually. He's here spiritually. In a sense, so you must understand that if you can live without Jesus Christ being physical with you, then you can also live with the spiritual and physical side on your own. In a sense, so make sure you understand that you never need other people to succeed. You just need yourself to be following Jesus Christ, and that way you need to be talking more, and you need to be able to go and pronounce yourself much better and talk over it and just go and plan your life ahead. But because I understand now what's happening for myself in terms of life and how I'm actually moving forward, I'm making sure either way that I have to go and change my address very soon. And now, for the next 2 weeks, either way, it's much better that I do so because I solidify success this way. I realize that means I have to go online now and change my address now. And then what I do is I physically just go and be spiritual every single day to go and focus upon understanding that it's more about the spiritual aspects than it is the physical aspects. And now understanding the physical aspects that everybody fails in the physical aspect of life. And why is that? Probably because if you understand the physical aspect can never fulfill you, and anything in this world can never fulfill you, but the words can. I mean, words and images can fulfill you, and so can also music. I mean, music and also silence and air that you breathe can fulfill you. I mean, that's sin, but everything else is gone. I mean, you must understand every single day to treasure yourself in a way that you're growing, and every single day focusing upon understanding your life must be planning forward, and you must be planning forward for lifetimes, and you must understand every moment is a lifetime in your life. But if you go throughout your day talking all day long, probably you're getting ahead of the crowd very quickly. And because I understand that, I'm very much more pronunciating myself to be better and better and better upon what I do. And now because I understand my voice may crack again, or else my voice may go again, and it may ride off into sunset somewhere and then come back to me anyway. But guess what? Probably you must understand either way that I'm here to grow myself regardless. I'm here to just explain more about my life. I'm here to understand I was missing on so much information I can give you. And that information is just minimal information that I can give you. But Jesus Christ has gave you that information anyway. Whereas now I understand either way. I've never lost anything, but I understand that I recover all the information anyway and put it into my word I. Pretty much since I do that, I'm making sure that you guys understand anyway. That I have to go and be much more motivating myself daily to go and perform out what I need to do every single day. And then I understand that no matter what, that it's much more how I feel. I feel that no matter what, I have to be on top of life with my words and communicational skills. I have to be making sure that you guys have what you deserve every single day. I feel it's much more how I feel in terms of life, where I have to speak over that. I have to speak over the need to have pleasure in my life. And because I understand that, I'm probably that's why I understand if you're doing too much pleasure in life, then guess what? Probably it's because you have to talk more. I understand, and that's it. Probably it's nothing else except talking more. Probably the talking in terms of what I'm doing now is fulfilling me, and everything, or as every single day, I understand that no matter what, that when I have anything that I come true with, I understand I give you all my fingers, I give you my finger, I give you everything in terms of what I have in terms of life, so I can go and prosper and so I can succeed. And I make sure either way that I realize food never fulfills me, but the wisdom of food does. Or as now the wisdom of food. Or does anything that has wisdom fulfills me. Or else now anyway. Or else now since I'm actually talking much more, I'm talking in a better way. I'm looking for a better way to solve problems. I'm making sure that you guys understand now that I'm much faster in terms of uploading content online now. I'm very quick to the notion of being able to just suss out what to do, and since I'm actually understanding my music is very much getting ahead of me, and I'm understanding that no matter what, that I have to go and perform live now and do live coaching. And then eventually the nice and beautiful DJing set comes along. And then once the DJing set comes along, I get to go to a nightclub eventually. And now either way, I promise you that no matter what, I have to be making music, of course, because it's a whole journey. I promise you it's a whole journey of making music. And it's all about making sure that no matter what, that you're getting ahead. And now since I never work a 9 to 5 job, I work for Jesus Christ, and I work for the words, and I'm giving you the words of life. Because if I just make music, but then I never show you, then there's no point in me making music. I mean, the whole point is making music to show you. I mean, every single day, that what I focus upon is understanding that I have to recover. Or else, because I have to recover, I have to go and also overcome my need to do better in the way that I have to do better. And I have to understand anyway that I focus upon loving my life in different ways, but making sure I'm motivating myself in the best ways to succeed, because I realize that my nice and beautiful sickness is going away. And now because it's going away, I have no sickness anymore. But I'm making sure in a way that I can talk. I have to talk in a way that is actually helping me to grow. But because I understand anyway, I'm very much stronger alive today than ever before. I'm making sure I can breathe. I'm making sure I'm successful. I'm making sure I stick to the words of life, because that way I understand either way. Or I understand anyway that I focus upon love and respect in a way that I'm growing. I'm growing myself the most. I'm focusing on making sure that no matter what, that I lift myself and other people. I have what I need in terms of food and drink. I'm making sure I can succeed today. I'm making sure no matter what, that I focus upon loving myself. I make sure I save all the money in the world to give you the words. I make sure either way that I have a better purpose. And now since I have a better purpose, whereas my purpose is just to drive myself to make music, because I have nothing else to do. And because I have nothing else to do except make music, I have to focus upon making sure I love I so much more than anything else. So I focus upon understanding that it's much more like that. I promise you it's much more how I have to make music alone, and nobody else can make it for me, and nobody else can talk my words for me, and nobody else can do my life for me, or else nobody else can be here with me always. I mean, nobody else can eat with me always. I mean, nobody else can drink with me always. I mean, nobody else can talk with me always. I have to rely on myself here to make sure that I can do all that. I realize every single day, I focus now on making sure that these nice and beautiful programs I'm making is coming up online. And now either way, I have many to upload, but it's all a progress, and everything's a work in progress. And now I understand anyway that I'm focusing on making sure that I do that now. And I'm focusing on making sure that motivate myself to do something, and I have to motivate myself to speak more, and I have to do something, because otherwise other people never do it for me. When you said, I realize if I never get ahead of my game to give you all the content I can to succeed, then guess what? Proportionally, then I never deserve success. But I deserve success because I want to give you, and I want to give you much more. And because I want to give you much more, then I'm giving myself more when I give you more ideas. I realize when I give you more ideas, then I have much more in the process of everything. And because I understand every single day that I focus upon something that I love to do, I'm making sure every single day I'm more successful. I never need other people to talk to me. I never need other people with me. I never need anything else except just to grow my words. And because I understand that, I realize now it's time to move forward. I realize, yes, I'm on my own, but I have my words. I have my words while I'm alone. And now because I'm understanding that, I understand I have much more eternity in that. I have much more eternity and grace in making sure that I can love my life differently, and I can make sure that no matter what, that I'm learning very quickly upon how to succeed. Because if you want to succeed, then you have to succeed differently. And I understand that no matter what, that I cannot wait until that nice and beautiful melody of life goes away. Because anyway, that when it goes away, I promise you it's much more how that beautiful melody is I. But making sure anyway that what's important for myself is that I go away inside of my word I. Because anything that's a physical body has the physical, in terms of anything that's a physical body can get sickness. And now the sickness is what I'm talking about. Whereas if you have sickness, then make sure you never have sickness. But make sure you understand if you're talking about sickness, then just talk in the third party and just say, that man has sickness in a way that he wants the sickness to go away. He wants the sickness to go away, or else he feels that this audio program over here can do better without the sickness. Understand? And that way I understand that no matter what, that the sickness is going away from him because he believes. And he believes in himself in a way that he can talk it up, and he can talk with you here. And he can make sure that no matter what, that he's going to heal, and he's healing. But he's making sure that he never gets a sickness ever again. Because he never needs a sickness, or else he never wants to have a sickness. So sometimes you have to speak in a third party like that to explain yourself. In a sense, so that's what I mean. Or else he wants to be making sure that you guys hear him out. And because you hear him out in a different way, just understand he may cough here and there. Or else he may sneeze here and there. Or else he may just yawn here and there. But that's how he is. But he is never the sickness. Or else he's never the sickness. Or else he just understands that now. Just understand that if you understand yourself, then understand how to be great. Or else he just says that no matter what, that he wants to just recover very quickly. But it's going to take him some time in a way that it's never taking him time. But it's going to help him. And it's helping him to understand that no matter what, that he's never sick, but he's free. So make sure you understand that you must be free from life. And you must understand that no matter what, you have to go and grow yourself in a different way. But be able to be the third party in somebody's world as well. And be able to have always somebody who can talk for you in a way that is you. Just be able to go and recall yourself to have greatness. Because if you want to understand anything in life, then understand how he just has to always cut off the communication because he's about to cough. Or else now, if you want to go and grab yourself a spotlight in terms of life, then what you need to do every single day is focus upon the attempt of doing so in a way that you understand that no matter what, that you're going to really, really understand how to show people the third way of acting with yourself. Because if you understand how sick that guy is, then understand that there are sicker people than him, or else there's somebody sicker than him in life, or her. Understand? Or else there's somebody worse off than you today. And just be thankful and understand that no matter what, if you are looking for pleasure and you're looking, let's say, that you never look for pleasure, but make sure you understand that if he or she is looking for pleasure, then make sure you understand if one is looking for pleasure, then that one is also consisting to degrade themselves in a way that they want to waste time, to fantasize and to just procrastinate, to just do themselves in a way that they want to speak more words instead. Or as they want to speak more words instead, but what happens is that something overtakes them and they need to act out. And they need to masturbate, or they need to go and be horny for a bit. Understand? Because why? Or else because they feel the natural tendency to do so. They feel nature. They feel Mother Nature. They feel that human aspect of being able to just fuck around and have fun. I mean, they feel like they need to be childish a bit, or else they feel they need to play around, or else they feel they need to go and express themselves a different way. But if you understand that, Rosha, that's the nice and beautiful way to say, express yourself in words instead. Or else now, because I understand that he also or she also wants to just or else they want to express themselves in different ways and just be able to understand it's more how I feel. And I feel that you have to understand that no matter what, if you're talking in third parties, then make sure you understand that if you go to somebody and ask them for how much your tickets are, and then you go and call them via Viber or Scout, or you call them on Skype or Viber or WhatsApp or via a video call, and then you say shame and shame and shame to them. Then you look like an idiot. Understand? I promise you, now nobody's an idiot, but make sure you understand that no matter what, that those people who go shaming people for whose tickets they want are stupid. Understand? So make sure you understand to stay away from those people and just find yourself around yourself. Find yourself really recovering and understand that no matter what, that if you understand me and how I've been living my life, I have to go in different ways. I have to go and do something different. I understand how it is. I realize that if you have somebody who's very alone in the house and they have nothing to do but to do themselves, then understand they have the world. Or as well, that if they have nothing to do in life, then make sure you understand they're bored and drug addicts. Or approach they're drug addicts. Approach drug addicts want to do nothing in life. So what's the whole point of life? The whole point of life is go and coach yourself how to just go and be in terms of life and go and really pronounce yourself in a way that you can go and do your nice and beautiful content in a way that you're helping yourself. But sometimes he or she feels that they are unable to because they have to talk more. And because they have to talk more, it's more how they feel. Whereas now, while you talk, you can go and do it. You can do it. Or else either way, so as I go and really, really study upon my life over here, I'm making sure you understand that if you look at, if you look at a photo where somebody's looking at you so attractively in a way that they want you in bed and they want to have sex with you, and they're looking at you like that always, I promise you it's the most fulfilling aspect of life when they just want you. And they're just always reminding you of that. You're saying, I realize that's amazing, isn't it? When they're reminding you that they always want you. It's the most beautiful thing. So I have this dirty picture of this woman in my phone. And her name's Candice Michelle. And she looks at me in a dirty kind of way in this photo. She's looking at me in a dirty kind of way. And she's so attractive because she just gives me those eyes like she wants to fuck. She's giving me the fucking eyes. And it's so attractive to me because I feel connection with her here. And it's like when a woman or a man looks at you like in a dirty way. And you can see it's a dirty kind of way. But it's so attractive. And it's so attractive when you just have that image in your phone and just keep watching it all day long. And it's like validation for you. And it's like, hey, there's a woman out there or a man out there that's really, really urging you to understand how they want you like that. Because they're showing you the photo. They're showing you the photo that they want you. I understand Candice Michelle took a photo randomly and put it online. And she's doing that kind of dirty manure to everybody. But I'm understanding that it makes me feel like something more in a way that, hey, there's hope. There's hope for me. There's hope in a way that somebody does want me and somebody does treasure me in a way that I can see it by her eyes. It's just so powerful. When you just go and look at a dirty photo of somebody in terms of, never a dirty photo, but something that's so beautiful in a way that they're dirty about you. And they're dirty to have you in bed and to have sex with you. And just go and look at that and just look so attractive when they're looking at you like that. So it just gives you life. or else it does make me have an erection just looking at her. And the more I look at her like this, how she in terms of looks at me dirty, she just gives me an erection. in a sense, so that's the thing. It's so powerful. So I realize every single day that if you want to go and really, really study something about life, then study how it is to be alive and how it is to enjoy life and how it is to just walk your life in a way that you're stepping on nobody else, but you're going on top of you in terms of you're growing yourself in a way that you're enjoying yourself in the process of life and you're making sure that you have more enough to succeed with and you're making sure that you can go and really, really do your life in a way that's helping you move forward But if you understand anything about life, then just go and really, really test out everything right now. And just be able to understand to never fail yourself. I mean, just go and really, really study upon understanding how to go and grow yourself in ways that helps you grow. So if you understand anyway that I am always developing my word I am always understanding how I can go and really, really say something over here. I just say I, for example. So if I say I have to write it down. But I'm understanding that no matter what that, I have a nice and beautiful video coming up on YouTube. So I just write I am showing you. Say I am showing you a teaser. I'm showing you a teaser. So you can also make sure to pause your audio programs if you want, because guess what, Prosh, it's just the way it is, isn't it? Prosh, now it's much more helpful that I do it, so I can write something down so that you guys never have to slow down. So anyway, guys, I realized that what's amazing about life is understanding that if you want to go and just randomly just put your eye into the names that you are doing, then understand that it works out for you always to go and do something that's really helping you move forward. So what I do now is I focus on understanding that yes, I want to actually go and wrap something into my nice and beautiful Dynatopia track. And now because I understand that, I realize that it's much more how I do so, because in that way I feel that I've done something more in terms of my life over here. So I understand anyway that I just realize every single time that it's more about the fraction of making sure that you're just better than yourself in a way that you're just developing. I mean, just develop and develop and develop is what the game is all about. And now if you understand anyway that most people never can help you with words or anything, but yes they can, or else they can help you with words, or else they can never speak your words for you though. Or else nobody can speak your words for you, but you can also choose which word you want to go and accomplish for yourself and what you want to do. But understand that since I'm doing audio programs, I just really quickly understand everything's going into my nice and beautiful way of life over here, because I understand that no matter what, if I'm doing audio programs, then I never write captions when I'm doing audio programs. Because why? Because I realize, because I understand that no matter what, I have more enough giving you audio content over here to understand to explain myself in a better way. But because I understand how sick and fatigued I was in terms of life over here, I understand in some realms I was so sick that I was unable to speak to you. I was unable to raise my voice. I was unable to talk. I mean, I was unable to go outside somewhere to promote my name somewhere. I was unable to go to the car park to promote my event for the 28th of May. I was sick. And because I was sick, that if you talk in past tense, it's like talking also in third party. I realize although it's just like that. Or if you talk in second person, it's just like talking from the past. And that's it. I was so sick to just be able to do anything in life about myself, in a way to speak content to you and to give you content in some ways. But in other ways, my music was moving forward. And my music is moving forward now. I realize although that since I'm actually moving my actual progress forward, I'm understanding anyway that it gets hot sometimes, and I feel hot right now. But do I feel so hot in a way to get sick? Or probably no. But it's just hot. Or else because it's hot, I let it be. Or else it's much better to be hot than to be cold. I mean, why is that? I mean, I'd rather be in a warmer climate than in a colder climate. I mean, do you understand me? I mean, why? Why though? Or else because I feel the tendency to understand that I never hate anything, but it's more how I feel. I feel that is more of a sickness that comes along. Or else if you have to choose between warmer or colder, then guess what, bro? You have to be somewhere in the middle. I mean, you have to be in the middle of cold and hot. You understand? Because if you understand anyway, that I was speaking before how everybody needs to go in the warmer temperatures of life, but that's never the way. I mean, if you follow summer, and if you follow, or else if you follow the warmer climates, for example, to just go there to experience it, then it's the best way. But is it possible for you to get sick in the warmer climates? Yeah. It's still possible for you to get sick, even if you follow anything about life. Although, you can never get sick following Jesus Christ. I mean, understand? So make sure you understand that. I realize although if you follow in the physical world, for example, let's say you're trying to get away from winter to go to a summer type of location, then guess what happens? Or as the climate changes, or as your climate changes. But if you're always living in the warmer climates, then guess what happens? Gosh, and then you can get sick too. I mean, you can get physically sick in the warmer climates. I mean, they understand. But if you have a mixture of life, and I realize if you have cold and warm as well in your life, then guess what? I realize that's the temperature you need. I realize you need to be around the cold climates and also the warm climates. Whereas if you're just in the warm climates all the time, then I promise you that there's a big disease there. I mean, understand? I mean, why is that? Or is it, there's a big disease because I understand that if you realize something, it's more about being in the middle of the climate in a way of hot and cold, and never too hot and never too cold. Or else you have to understand it's more about your temperature here, and focus on talking about your temperature always. I mean, focus on making sure you understand something. That when I have to go and do something around, let's say my music production outdoors somewhere, I always wear a jacket because it can get cold for me. I realize now, either way, I realize when I'm actually listening to my track, I have to listen to the track 1 hour and more. So I have to sit around outdoors somewhere for 1 hour and more listening to this track because I want it to be much more. And sometimes it gets cold. So I get my jacket and I wear a jacket always this time. Whereas now, anyway, whereas now with my music, I understand I'm using my nice and beautiful Leo Bar's music in terms of the nice and beautiful tracks I made with her. And I'm understanding now there's a guitar, or there's a solo of a saxophone, or as there is a drum, and also a nice and beautiful percussion from the drum as well, and also trumpets. Whereas now, because I do that, whereas now it's much more how I feel. I feel that you guys have to understand how I absorb everything and give you the knowledge of everything now, because there's nothing else to do for me. Or else every single day, I'm making sure I can teach myself everything. But if you understand anything about music production, for example, then make sure you're always understanding that if you're going into a new segment of music, then make sure it's a breakdown first, and then also a kick. Otherwise, now if you're going from a kick to a bigger kick, I mean, you can do that too. I mean, if you're going from a kick that's big into a small kick, I'm pretty sure you can do that. I'm pretty sure that if you go from a build-up into a drop, where a kick is, I'm pretty sure that's the worst way. I mean, why is the worst way? Because people expect it. I mean, people expecting it. Or else if people expect your music to happen, then guess what happens? Or else then you have no surprises. Or else then you have no surprises for them in a way of what's going to happen. But if I boom, 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 boom in your face this way, bro, you never seen it coming, did you? But if I go dun 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 boom, 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 boom. I mean, you fucking expected. I mean, did you expect that? I mean, it was coming, yeah. I mean, it was coming. I mean, you have to understand that. Or else, although if I just drop it in your face right away, I mean, you just didn't. I mean, or else, boom, 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 boom. I mean, fuck. I mean, fuck. I mean, you just never did see that, did you? I mean, you fucking didn't see that. I mean, that's the whole point of making music. I mean, that's the whole point of life. I mean, do something that people never expect you to do. First, let's see. First, do something out of the ordinary that people have never done. I mean, if you're always going to the old classical way of making music or life, where you go boom, 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 boom. I mean, for fuck's sake, I realize we've seen that coming. I understand, but make sure you understand that no matter what, that yes, it's a new sound and everything, but the structure of that. I mean, if you go bam 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 dun 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 boom 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 boom. I mean, whoa. I mean, do you feel that? I mean, that's different, yeah? I mean, why is it so different? Because, for fuck's sake, I mean, there's a little break there. I mean, it's fucking going into some melody or some shit. But if it's going I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, that's the fucking worst way to make a drop. I mean, that's the worst way. I mean, what? I mean, it's so fucking, let's say, old. I'm never old, though. I mean, make sure you understand that what you need to realize that if you call something old, then you become old. Approach is the case. But what is a new thing about life is stick to the new. Or else stick to the new aspects of life and forget the old. Or else there's two ways to live life. Or else it's either you go the new way or the old way. Do you understand? And now understand no matter what, there's only one way to live life. And it's the new way. The new way is the best way. Or if you understand that path, then just follow that path. But Jesus Christ is the new path. Jesus Christ is never the old path. Approaching Jesus Christ is the new path today. Approaching it's the newest path. Approaching now, yes, it can also be the old path too. Approaching if you want to go the old way, then go Jesus Christ's way. But it's also the new way. Approaching now, if you understand, you have to have everything in life, and you have to be focusing upon understanding on how to teach people. And now, anyway, what you can do, for example, understand that, for example, Ali and Phila have a beautiful track. It's all about the melody. And in their track goes, in terms of the melody goes, dun 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 dun. That happens for 3 minutes. And around that is melodies and a kick and percussion and sounds. But what you can do is, I was recently listening to melodies and all this and a remix. You can grab any melody and remix their tracks and remix their soundtracks. And for example, instead of having to play some melody on that melody that they have, then you can just go and really, really sing it on a vocal and make that with the kick. So for example, dun 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 dun. There you go. That's my melody. And that's my remix of his track. And then I use that vocal that I just made of my melody, which is his melody. And guess what? I put in my track and I put a kick to it. Do you understand how I've done that? I was using my vocals as the melody. I say, for example, so let's say I want to make your melody. Then all I say, I start singing your melody with the vocals. And I make that my actual remix of your track. So with Ali and Phila's nice and beautiful synth sound of dun 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 dun. If I want to make a remix from that, I sing that actual melody with my vocals. And I make the vocal the main part of the track. And everything else is behind the vocal. Approach, that's it. In a sense, no matter what, I realize it's much better how I feel. That if I do that, approach, it's much more how I can. But it's much more how I feel that I realize it's nice and beautiful to realize something here. It's much more how I understand I can sing all their nice and beautiful melodies and tones and sounds and make a remix of whatever they're trying to do. So if I go and make that nice and beautiful remix of whatever they're doing today, I never need their stem files. I never need what they've done. I can go and create their tracks with my voice. I can do exactly that. And then guess what? I realize I can make something around that too. That's the whole thing. That you can create somebody's track off by heart by just singing it live. And that's it. I realize that can be your track. And either way, then they be like, whoa, where'd you even get the vocals? Where'd you even get the idea to do that? How'd you actually get my content like that? It's no longer their content anymore. Or else now it's yours. So if I go making a track over here, which I can make Ali and Phila's track without his stem files. And guess what happens? I win. But does he care? Do they care? Of course they do. But they're nowhere near around me. And anyway, I can do it. But it's much more how I feel. So if you want to go and really, really raise the vibe of everybody in terms of what they're doing, and you want to copy them, then just sing what they're doing. And now it's yours. And that's it. Actually, now you're learning something from that. Anyway. But the thing is that since I'm making music, I understand that no matter what, that I'm really vibing with what I'm saying. But I want to teach you something. I want to teach you about life. I want to teach you about more. Actually, it's more about how I understand that no matter what, that since I'm actually never a fraud, I'm never somebody who's stealing money, but I'm understanding that no matter what, you guys may be saying so. Or you guys may be saying, hey, Danny's stealing money from the government or something. I want you guys to understand that millionaires and billionaires today are all borrowing money from the banks to get richer. Are they stealing money? No. Roshi, am I borrowing money from the government today? Roshi, yeah. I'm doing the same thing as them. I borrow money from Social Security to give you these words. I mean, does it help you? I mean, does my life help you in any kind of way? Then it's because I'm borrowing money from the Social Security, from the government, to give you that. I mean, what kind of information have I helped, or else what kind of information have I been helping you with? I promise you, it's because of my ability to borrow money from Social Security and from the government to give you that information. I mean, do you understand my hustle? But you may be somebody who fucking hates me so much that you just want me to fucking work in a 9-to-5 job just like you. And you just want me to have a fucking hard life just like you. And you just want me to have fucking less success than you. And that's what you're on about, yeah? But that's why you're saying fucking Danny's on Social Security. And fucking Danny's, he's on the fucking government allowance. I mean, and now, I understand you may be truthful and you're saying the truth and everything. But guess what? I mean, are you saying that because you're trying to be more successful than me? Or are you saying that because you're trying to fucking hate me in a way to fucking get me in a 9-to-5 job? Or to fucking complain about me? Or to bitch about me in a way of how I give you information here because I borrow money from the bank and because I borrow money from the government to help you with information? What is it about that? Do you hate me so much that you want me to be less successful than you? Or do you love me so much to be more successful than you? I mean, which one is it? I love you so much that I want you to be more successful than me. I'm just like that because I'm giving you so much content, aren't I? I realize those people who hate me for borrowing money from the bank and from borrowing money from Social Security and from the government today, because they have to go to a 9-to-5 job, and now because they have to, then everybody else has to. I'm probably nobody else has to. Probably nobody else has to work a 9-to-5 job. Just because you work a 9-to-5 job never means that other people have to. I promise you, what are you doing in a 9-to-5 job? I mean, who's made you do that? I promise you made yourself do that. I promise you, nobody else is making you work a 9-to-5 job. I promise you, I'm definitely never making you work a 9-to-5 job. I mean, understand? I promise you now, it's those people who really, really believe that just because other people are going to a 9-to-5 job, that they also have to. Bro, that's bullshit. Also, bro, you never have to work a 9-to-5 job in your life. And there's no shame about that. Bro, Jesus Christ never works 9-to-5. Bro, Jesus Christ works always. I mean, that's it. I mean, Jesus Christ always works. But those people who work just 9-to-5 and then on weekends fucking do rubbish, or from 5 o'clock to fucking 9 o'clock in the morning are fucking just on TV or some shit, in terms of just watching on TV something. I mean, guess what? If you're on TV somewhere, I'm pretty sure that's excellent. But if you're watching TV, then what the fuck are you doing? I mean, make sure you have to be doing something. So when I'm doing something, I love to perform. I love to go out somewhere. I love to go and do a street performance somewhere. I love to make sure I have my food and drink. I love to make sure I have my music ready. And I'm doing everything around life coaching and everything around my audio programs and making sure I'm making events. And now since I'm making events, I'm much better able to make these events. I mean, why is that? I'm learning slowly how to make these events possible. So what happens is, I try to max out 100 people to come to my event. I mean, the first event that you have to be making is make the first event only 100 people. I mean, just say 100 people and that's it. I mean, why is that? Because guess what? Probably now, if you do that, I mean, try to have as many people as possible. I mean, understand either way that if you try to go for 1,000 people but only 100 people show up, probably, you're still successful and you're still charging people $200 at the door. But for my example here, I have 100 capacity over here of people who can come to my event. But it's just 100 people that I have to sell to instead of 1,000. I'm still selling myself on more people than that. But the thing is, that only 100 people can come to my door. I mean, only 100 people can come and sell out my tickets. I mean, I can do that only. I'm the only one that can sell out my tickets. I realize the whole thing, although, is understanding that if 100 people come to my Nice and Beautiful Mounties program over here, I make $20,000 on the day. I make $20,000. I just have to go and promote it everywhere. I mean, for the next month, I mean, for the next 3 weeks, I have opportunities here to go and get more business cards and just promote and promote and promote as much as I can. Bro, that's it. I have to give out 1,000 business cards, and then guess what? I promise you, from that point, I'll let it be. I mean, do you understand? I promise you, every single time I make an event, I make fucking 1,000 business cards and I give them out, and that's it. I mean, why? Because I want people to follow me. I want people to come and give me attention. I want to be the spotlight in people's hearts, and that's it. I want to be somebody in people's hearts. Whereas now, since I'm making all this music, I understand that no matter what, I see straight away how to understand people's structure and how they're making music. I understand Will Sparks right now is making beautiful tracks. But now, you must understand that no matter what, if you go and really, really understand much more, then go and really dwell upon making sure that you're succeeding and helping people to move forward and also promoting them all your life. Be promoting these people. And now, because I have a mentors page where I'm also guiding you every single day to go and focus upon loving yourself and making sure that you're uploading your content online, and then just go and really, really upload it to YouTube. And that's it. I mean, upload your content to YouTube right away and make sure that no matter what, that you're never complaining about life or anything, but make sure that you're always growing with yourself and other people so that you can go and grow yourself all the time. So if you want to understand something, then just go and really reply to people who want to get your tickets to see you so that you can go and really, really do greater. Alright, anyway, I went on Snapchat and I already have 48 people who are I have 48 people who have already seen me in Snapchat. So what I want to do now is I feel there's a nice and beautiful vibe going around me. And I feel people are curious about my events and what I have going for me. And because I understand anyway that I'm somebody who deserves a greater life, and I'm somebody who understands much more about life than most people, I promise you, I understand life much more than everybody else. I promise you, there's nobody in this life that understands life much more than Danny Milivojevic. I promise you. And why is that? Because I have something that you need. I have something that you want. I promise you, now, what is it? Then you have to stay tuned. You have to stay in tune for that. I it's something really that I understand I have much more advantage over you. I promote myself much more than you. I'm doing everything better than you, and that's why. I'm making sure that you guys understand that no matter what, that I'm always delivering that content. I'm making sure that no matter what, I'm never losing. I'm in the process of making sure that everybody has what they deserve every single day. And then I'm focusing upon making sure that guys and women and ladies can succeed in different ways. And I'm making sure always to just do my life differently. Because a different aspect of life is making sure that you can find the courage to succeed in different ways and make sure always that you never miss a day on music production or anything. But make sure you understand anyway that I focus upon loving myself now in a way to give you information, because I feel necessary to just explain some stuff before I do anything else. And then I focus upon understanding it's much more how I feel that I have to go right now to make music, because otherwise I feel that I've been missing out. And now I understand that anyway. I can feel the tension here. I have to grab the spotlight. I have to go and really, really do this nice and beautiful information. And then along the way, I teach you as well my actual coaching about life and what I do. And now, because I'm always much more successful about my life now, I'm making sure I'm starting up again with my nice and beautiful audio programs here, so I can give you a better taste about what I do daily, and so that I can move forward very, very quickly, because I never ever want to stop talking like this. I never want to stop talking. I understand that I was sick recently and that didn't help me to, let's say, do other aspects, but guess what? Probably you must understand that it did block me in other occasions. Alright, I mean, in a sense, so make sure you understand that if you have a physical sickness, then make sure you understand that it's blocking you on some occasion, and on some other ways, it's never blocking you. But do what you can and never get physically sick. Make sure you understand I never have a physical sickness, because I understand that either way, that I'm somebody who is worth it, and I'm somebody who understands to just grow myself and to grow different aspects of my life quickly to make sure I get ahead of the crowd, because that is what's important to me. But what's important to me is making sure that I can grow myself quickly and to pronunciate myself quickly. I love on. I make sure that no matter what I do daily, that I'm always more successful than you and other people, because that is how I find a program here that helps me to focus upon something that is worth it. And now anything that's worth it for me is growth, in terms of growth, and it's making sure that no matter what, that people have what they deserve and what I have in terms of what I have in life, because what I have in life is everything, and I have everything to give, I have everything to say, I have everything to do every single day in different ways, and I'm making sure I'm always finding the courage necessary to be able to deliver some content for you so that you can grow. Prosh, that's it, Prosh. Now, no matter what, I want to be teaching you something along the way. I want to be actually understanding that, yes, I'm hungry, I have to eat, I have to do much more. I have to understand that it's more about talking than pleasure, always. And I'm making sure that no matter what, that I understand that if pleasure is the case, then make sure it's understanding to talk through that. I mean, talk over it in a way that you understand. It's more about making sure that people can go and grow themselves in different ways, because that way you actually find yourself much better. Because if you're worth it, and if you're worth to understand something, that if you have a profile online where people can see you and people can find you, then guess what? Probably happily give you $200 at the door to see you. I mean, they're saying, I mean, is it worth it? I mean, go and look at my Instagram and go and look at what I'm doing on YouTube. I charge people $200 at the door to see me. And I sell at 100 capacity people and more. I make $20,000 in one day. I make $20,000 in 8 hours. I make $20,000 in 8 hours because I have an Instagram like that, and because I have a YouTube account like that. I mean, do you understand me? I mean, would you rather have a YouTube and an Instagram, or work a 9-to-5 job like everybody else? I'd rather you have an Instagram and YouTube that looks just like mine, and then go and charge people $200 at the doors and make your money faster. I mean, they say, I never need you working 8-hour days for $200 when you can make it in one ticket sale. I make $200 in one ticket. I mean, understand? I have everything in one. I have everything in the word I. I is the best way to understand it. If you want to grow yourself and you want to understand every single day that you're focusing upon life and what you need out of life every single day, then you must understand always to grow yourself in different levels of life, in different ways, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you're enjoying yourself and other people, because you have to understand that it's much more about how it is. And how it is, I understand, is making sure that no matter what, that you're focusing on loving yourself, because loving yourself is the way. And loving yourself all the time is the best act of courage that you can do. But if you understand something about life, then just go and do what you need to do. Because the actual words of what you say is very quick to the notion of success every single day. So if you want to understand something about life, then it's much more about you than other people. Then focus on understanding to promote yourself all the time and what you have going for you, so you can understand anyway that you have to go and deliver. And if you want to deliver something, or else, then deliver yourself much more greatness over sending other people what you have. I mean, go and really understand it. It's much more about content delivery than it is talking to other people. I mean, understand? I mean, talk to yourself more than other people is what I'm saying. And now, since I have this content coming up on actual Mega Drive, I upload the program, and then guess what I do? I just continue with my other programs. And that's it. I make sure that you guys understand that my content is coming up daily on YouTube, and it's fast. And now, either way, my podcast and everything in terms of audio programs that I have is all on YouTube. And why YouTube? Because YouTube is something that people just love to be on, because it's just a video program where people can go, and that's it. First, there's more statistics on YouTube as well, and it's much more popular than SoundCloud overall. Or else, if you have to put SoundCloud and YouTube together, YouTube is always more popular in every kind of way. I mean, understand? And that's why YouTube is the way to be. And I understand anyway that when you have 30,000 million videos of Daniel Milivojevic on YouTube, isn't that exciting? Of course. And of course it's exciting, but that's why I'm understanding now that when I'm actually doing anything to grow myself, I have to understand to go and link channels. And what I want to do now is I want to perfect my nice and beautiful sound design in my Idynotopia track. So go and hear it, because you guys have to go and see that. And now, because I talk about it, I realize no matter what, I have at least music to give you. Most people on the planet can never even make music. I can make music at least. I can give you life coaching skills and music. But they may be able to give you just life coaching. I mean, big deal. I mean, big deal. I can sing as well. I'll give you some singing as well. I'll do some acting for you. I'll do some comedy for you too. I understand? Because it's never just about singing. And it's never just about life coaching, bro. It's more about music production too. I want to be able to pump in the nightclubs anything I want. I want to go anywhere around the world whenever I want. I mean, understand? And that's why I make sure I make sure I always deliver the best content in the planet so that you can succeed, so that I can succeed, and so everybody can succeed. And that's the whole point, isn't it? I mean, the whole point of life is making sure you're successful and making sure that you're talking more and more and more in your daily life. But I can do 55-minute programs and more every single day. I can do 24-hour programs and just keep talking every single day. Because guess what? I follow my life, and my life is a documentary. And because I talk so much, I understand that no matter what, the worst thing in life is if somebody gets sick and they're unable to talk. The worst thing in life is if somebody gets sick and they're unable to talk about anything to you in an audio program, in terms of if they're unable to speak to you in an audio program, or if they're unable to even turn on an audio program to talk to you because they're so sick physically. Bro, it's the worst thing. Bro, it's the worst case scenario. I mean, you understand? Bro, that's the worst case scenario for me, that if anybody becomes sick in life, and that if something happens where they are unable to even talk to you in an audio program or video, bro, that's the worst thing. I promise you. I mean, what do you do in that situation? I love that. Bro, just make sure you're going and writing more, and just write more in a way that you're lifting. I mean, be lifting yourself and other people, and just make sure always to be lifting your life in successful ways. But if you're doing that, then just make sure you understand that it can get very cold around here. So making sure you understand I'm in my backyard here. And yes, it's nice and beautiful, but it's getting cold as well. The sun goes down quickly, and guess what happens? If the sun goes down, then it goes nighttime, and it goes at nighttime after 5 p.m. it gets really cold. I mean, as soon as it starts raining and windy, as soon as it gets windy and starts raining, I mean, guess what happens? I mean, it gets cold. I mean, understand? So make sure you understand that no matter what, that you're always lifting yourself in what you're doing. But make sure you understand now that I have to go and make some music. So what I do is I focus upon recording the whole situation and recording everything, because I understand that you guys want to hear me make music. Of course you do. But make sure you understand anyway that what I'm doing now is I make sure you understand that if I record this, and if I record anything about life, then making sure they understand that it's much more how I'm documenting my life. But guess what? It's much more how I feel. That you guys need to understand something, that if I document this, I make sure that you guys can hear my audio program in a way that is working out. But Jesus Christ goes and really, really delivers the words much more. I mean, the words are much more than the actual sounds of my actual music. I mean, in the sense, so what I need to do is I'd rather give you audio programs. But Jesus Christ says that if you're making these audio programs, to make everything into the nice and beautiful program that you want. But make sure you understand that's the way. The way is just one audio program for everything, and that's it. I mean, one audio program for everything. I mean, that's it. I mean, just a life coaching podcast. I love it. I promise you, a life coaching podcast that has all of your information all the time. And just be careful, please. I mean, make sure you never drop your laptop. I mean, make sure you're always so successful in ways that you understand all the time, that you lift your life, and that you understand that no matter what, that I realized something. Whereas I never again want to carry a chair and my laptop at the same time. I mean, why is that? Because I want to carry one aspect of life at a time. I want to carry either a laptop first or a chair, and I apologize for that one. Whereas now, never ever drop your laptop on the floor in a way that it may break, because I understand my laptop over here is $800 and more, and I never want to break it because it can make me a lot of money. I mean, understand? I mean, what kind of money? I realize all the music in the world. I never want to break my laptop because it can make me music, man. I'm the one who's making the music, but I need the laptop to make the music. And that's why it's so valuable for me to have music in my life. So what I do now is I focus upon just making this nice and beautiful content. And now I want to go get my jacket now. I have to go toilet as well. And now either way, I make sure to just go quickly. I'm never afraid of anything, but making sure you guys understand very quickly that you have to be honest about life. And you have to understand all the time how to be successful in ways that you're growing. So if you're growing in ways that you're helping yourself to succeed, then make sure you're talking better and better and better, and that's the only way forward. Alright, now if you're understanding anything about life, then understand how to be better. I welcome you guys back into my nice and beautiful podcast. So the thing is, guys, that now recently I was very much in distress about life. Because why? Or else because my nice and beautiful voice went away in a way that I was unable to talk to you because my voice broke down. And because my voice did break down, I understand now. I realize my voice is here and I'm speaking so much better. But it's just how much information I could have given, or less, just how much information I could have gave you in life. So I was just having this talk with myself as I was sleeping, and I was talking about just being able to speak to anybody because it's words. Now, if you're somebody who's running after somebody because of pleasure, then you're losing right now. I mean, you're just losing because life is never pleasure. I mean, life is words. I mean, if you don't understand life right now, then what you're seeking to do is to teach people right now something about your life. But there's many people right now who never have a chance to even do what I'm doing because they believe they have no guts or I mean, they believe they have no guts or connections to even do life to the best of their ability. So since I'm actually doing my life now, I'm actually understanding something. I understand if they block you, it's because they want to be in your life. Or I realize if somebody blocks you on Facebook, I can say it's because they want to be in your life. I realize although that now I made a nice and beautiful change on my YouTube account and SoundCloud. I'm no longer uploading my podcasts to SoundCloud because SoundCloud never gives me the statistics that I need to see because YouTube does. And because YouTube does give me the statistics I need to be living my life, I want to make sure that you guys have what you deserve. So what I do is I go upload my content on YouTube by 1 hour marks. So I make sure that my podcasts are all, each and every single one of them are 1 hour. And what I do is I make sure to title them and make sure to just upload them online. And that's it. I make sure you understand every single day. If I do something to help myself, I make sure that you understand that either way, that what I can do on Mega Drive is I can keep saying how to do this and how to do this and how to do this. I can say how to do this. I mean, it's all that nice and beautiful game. And now, if it's too much to handle in terms of renaming all the files, I just rename them eventually. I mean, all I do is I make sure to title them in a way that it's EP whatever, and then I make sure to eventually just title it somewhere down the road. And now, all the time, I want to be able to understand that my Instagram needs to be doing better. I understand that I went through a tough time never speaking to you for about 36 hours. And I went doing stuff differently. I was doing stuff differently. I understood and understand that it's very different for me to write down my thoughts today and to speak it out with my voice. And I'd rather speak out my voice than go and physically write it down. I mean, why is that? Because I understand that when I really, really dwell upon giving you my voice like this, I could say it's much better than having to physically write everything down into a journal, because now you can just quickly listen to me and read from me this way. So I feel that as I was sleeping, I was talking about myself, and I was talking about different aspects of life because I can see eternity in the words I speak. I can see something that other people are unable to see as I speak. I can really see the skill level of being able to just dwell upon
my life in a way that I'm learning very quickly upon what I need to do daily to be able to live my life better. So at the moment, I get over a few hundred people a week coming to my Instagram. And now, out of those people, probably only 1% follow me, really, in terms of the Instagram. But they're all following me. I'm probably, if there's a few hundred people who've seen my profile, probably they follow me for a lifetime. Probably now, what I want to do is make sure you guys understand that if it's cold in the house or anything, then turn on the heater straight away, and never ever be somebody who never does any work. I understand? I mean, be someone who's really, really studying something really quickly. And be alive. I mean, be alive. I mean, be somebody really understands life to some degree to be able to talk about it. In that sense, so if you understand it in a way, that you guys all have experience right now to be able to talk your life. I mean, everybody has experience to some level or some degree about something. So if you're able to just talk it out with yourself and other people, then that's the best way. I say, however, other people just are never in it for you. I mean, listen, I'm in it for you, so I become successful. Probably everybody is that way. I'm probably, but there's most people on the planet. There is 99% of people are just in it for you and never for themselves. I mean, that's it, because those people are dangerous. I'm never dangerous because I'm in it for the word I, so I can help you. I'm brushing from that point. I'm learning quickly to just upload as much content of my podcast as I can now online, so I can do greater. And that's it. I want to make sure that you guys have what you deserve daily, to be able to see me just doing my work daily. So make sure that no matter what, I have no problems anymore about what I need to do. I could see what I need to do. Or else either way, I just make sure to always recover files or anything like that I see that I need to upload online. So make sure either way that you guys are very quick to the notion of what I need to do. And now what I do is, if you delete the files that are 1 hour each in your record, then guess what? I'm going to go and make a record where you can go and dwell upon making your nice and beautiful files, courses inside of your section. But if you did connect them together, then make a nice and beautiful restoration file somewhere. Make a restoration file somewhere where you can go and really, really find these nice and beautiful ways of life. See, now the thing I have to do is I have to find which file am I uploading to YouTube now, so that I can really, really dwell better. But if you're somebody who's looking for sex from other people, or else what you need to be doing is never waste your time about pleasure, but make sure that you're growing instead. Go and be doing something that makes you money physically. Understand? But physically making money and spiritually is the best way. But never make money just physically. Let's talk about spirituality too. So as I really grow, I want to make sure that my voice is nice and projecting at you in a way that I'm learning and growing very quickly. But over time, I understand what happens is the voice starts to break down, because your voice is so much so in a way of using itself in a way that you may be using your voice too much, and then your voice may break down, really. And then your voice may really, really escalate to a point where you may be unable to even speak your voice out. And that's what did happen to me recently, because I was speaking for 70 hours and I was using 70 hours of my voice, and then he did start to break down on me like this. Or else now is it my fault? Probably not. Probably I did make some nice and beautiful music along the way. I talk to myself, and I talk to myself everything. I teach myself everything this way. I make sure either way that you guys understand very quickly that I am somebody in life, and I am somebody in a way that I am out there to help you as much as I can. I'm here to help you grow. I'm here to make sure that you guys have what you deserve. And now, because I have what I deserve in life, probably everybody gets what they deserve. Probably why is that though? Probably because what you sow is what you reap. Probably now, if I understand every single day anything about life, I make sure to go into the best subjects about life, and I make sure to give you all the content I can so that I can help you to dwell better upon something. And now, what can I help you do today to make sure that you're successful? I can go to communication with you straight up, and I can make sure that you understand that it's never about having pleasure with you, but it's about really escalating conversation with you. And now, because I understand I have a nice and beautiful voice memo here, I'll make sure I understand that it's much more how I talk to myself all day long rather than doing anything else. And why is that? Because I feel the nice and beautiful way of life that I can help myself with every single day is growing daily in different ways. Whereas now, because it's growing in different ways, I make sure to give those ideas very quickly. And I find the notion of life differently. I make sure you guys are always understanding about life in different ways, because life is different ways, and life is something new to say. Every single day, just speak out as much as you can and talk about something that's in the moment just with you. And that way you learn very quickly about what you need to do in terms of life to grow. And because you need to be a certain way and do a certain aspect of life differently than others, then make sure that you understand that if you want to go and do anything about that, understand, then just make sure you're growing. Or else now, make sure you understand that what I need to do also is make sure that no matter what, that my nice and beautiful YouTube account has more nice and beautiful audio programs, but also to be planning my life along the way upon understanding something about life, and also being able to go and really, let's say, see the nice and beautiful art over here of courage, to understand my nice and beautiful files and which one to upload and which one to go and see. So for example, what I need to do here is I make sure that no matter what, that I can go to my music player over here, which is my MP3 player. Or else now I want to be able to play it in a way that I can hear it. I want to hear it in a way that's working for me. So make sure you guys understand anyway that I'm somebody who needs to grow in different ways. And because I need to grow in different ways, I need to go and really, really recoil myself. Now, because I try to even recoil myself in different ways, I try to hear myself out. I try to understand that it's more about understand the risk over here about doing my thing. But I understand if that's the case, I realize it's much more how my voice gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and I feel that it's that case. So I need to understand every single time to grow.
Famous people have no word eye as well.
Whereas now I'm just looking to see what's going on over here.
So anyway, guys.
Whereas now I want to make sure that you guys are getting content online from me, so I can always deliver you better content.
So anyway, guys.
Whereas now that's the one. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to make sure anyway that you guys are getting different content from me online. So I want to make sure either way that from 61 upwards, I make a note over here and I just say 61. Say 61 has gone up. Alright, now say I done the upload. I've done the upload. Or else now either way, or else what's important is understanding that if you're moving throughout life quickly and you're learning quickly about what you're doing, then doing some music production also while you're actually speaking everything out
is the broadest way you can do it. And now do it in the broadest way, everything, in terms of everything. And understand that no matter what, you can then understand how you're moving forward very quickly upon what you want. But if you understand anything about life, then understand quickly to be able to go and never be fragile about what you're doing. But make sure you're speaking broadly to everybody very quickly. Unfortunately then, I understand I was really sick recently. And why is that? Because I just didn't move to Sydney, and Sydney is very cold. And then I lost my voice recently also, which is separate on the side. And you can never lose your voice if you're sick. I mean, understand? But nobody's sick, so make sure you understand to never say to anybody that they're sick or anything like that. I mean, never ever call other people sick, because otherwise then you become sick. So never become sick. Otherwise, that what you call other people is what you call yourself. And if you speak to other people great, then you become great. I mean, understand? Which is that simple every single day. I make sure all the time now that since I understand what people are talking about me and how they're talking about me, I focus upon having a nice beautiful language with myself daily about life. And because my life is different right now, and I have a different way of speaking right now than I was speaking before, I understand although that what's amazing now is my voice is much stronger and my voice is much better upon giving you guys a nice and beautiful audio, and something just works for me now. Whereas what works for me now is making sure that you guys have the best deals upon everything. So making sure anyway to make sure to give you something that works. I realize now what works in my heart to make sure that you guys are growing is different ways of being and doing something that helps you to recognize a better way. So if you recognize a better way of life quickly, then go and upload everything you can online so that you never lose. But if you just upload and upload and upload and upload everything to YouTube, then look at your nice and beautiful statistics and see is it working out for you. Because what works out for you really, I understand, is being consistent online regardless. So if you're willing to just upload and upload and upload to make sure that you have a better life, then go for it. Whereas the whole point is making sure that you have the best attitude about everything. So make sure you understand that it's more about making sure that if you have courage to speak to them in words about anything, or else then you deserve it. I mean, you deserve whatever you want right here in terms of life by speaking the words of what you want. I mean, those words can help you. Or else now. I understand if you really, really understand something about life, then understand the freedom of life helps you to grow right now. Or else now what you need to do is always strengthen yourself in a way that if you do strengthen yourself in a way to succeed, then what you want to be doing is a greater way of life. I mean, you understand? Or else now if you're doing a greater way of life for yourself, then eventually just make sure that you're always doing the 320 always do the 320 pixel high quality one inside of the UCart. And the 320 pixel high quality export is the best kind of function that you can use. And why is that? Because you have an audio program with an image. So if you have an image program with an audio, just export the 320 pixel. Because it's never a video anyway. I mean, it's just an audio. So that's why only ever go 320 pixel and just go high quality 320 pixel video to upload to YouTube. And make your YouTube videos 1 hour long. Because 1 hour is easy to upload. But now, anyway, since I'm actually teaching you very quickly about life, I make sure you understand something. That when I teach myself this, I teach myself everything. I teach myself everything about you. I make sure you understand when I'm teaching you, I'm teaching myself you.
I make sure I'm always teaching something about life. I'm always expressing myself as much as I can. I'm pushing my boundaries. I'm making sure I can be heard. And because I can be heard, I can do something that other people are afraid to do. I mean, what makes other people afraid? I see what makes other people afraid is never documenting their voice. I see what you want to be doing is always just grab your nice and beautiful audio camera or video camera and just express a thought here and there. I mean, that's it. I mean, if you are unable, if you are unable to speak to the audio all day long, if you're unable to speak to the video or to the phone all day long, then just write, or just write physically, or be able to express at least just one sentence at a time. I see what you need to understand is just grab your voice memo and have it on a recording here and there to teach people quick sentences about what's going on in your mind quickly. So you never have to physically write it down, but just go say it to an audio. I see also what's important is just pause. Just pause the audio, or else once you pause the audio, then speak it out into an audio program like this, and then pause the audio again. And when you get an idea, then you speak it out into an audio program or video just like this, and unpause and repause the audio program when you have an idea, and just give it. Is what I mean. And why? So it makes you successful. So it makes you successful so you understand. So guys, nobody can, let's say, cheat on you physically in terms of spirituality, in terms of the spiritual realm. Because why? Because if you understand anything about the soul, or else that you can go and physically reject me for pleasure. So if I want pleasure from you, you can say no. But spiritually, you always have to say yes to me. Understand? So where you are already, regardless of if you turn away from me or never turn away from me, the spiritual answer is always yes. Understand? You can never ever deny me spiritually in life. Because spiritually in terms of anything spiritual, has a dimension that is a yes. So when I go and really, really do something about dimensions of thought, physically I can always reject you and never see you in the physical realm. I can choose that. But spiritually, I can always be with you spiritually somewhere. You may go to Spain by yourself, but I understand that you're in Spain. I understand you gave me the thought that you're going to Spain and you're going to these places. I never have to come with you, but spiritually I'm with you because you told me. And you said to me, hey, I'm going to Barcelona and Real Madrid. I said, have fun. I said, have fun with yourself. But now for the next 2 months, I understand I'm with you straight away because you're going to be in Barcelona and you're in Barcelona and Real Madrid. And I understand that, but I can feel you spiritually going there. So that's the thing. And I never ever reject people spiritually. I never reject people physically or anything. But the thing is, I reject people when I have to go the word I. I never reject my word I. Regardless of how many people want me to move away from the word I, in terms of I love you, because the word I is something fascinating and it's something that helps. I want you guys also to see that anything in the words that is said in terms of life is interest. But anything that has no words in life has no interest. And why is that? I realize because when I speak to you words like this, it becomes interesting. But if there's no words to say, then when there's no words to say, then it's never interesting, is it? Or it's only ever interesting when you keep to the words. And now when you keep to the words, you can make up life. You can do whatever you want. But make sure every single day you focus upon a better way, because that's where the words go, and that's how Jesus Christ does it. I said, so guys, since I didn't unpause my audio here, I mean, you heard a click right away. And why is that? Because I went and I did unplug my earphones from the voice memo that you're hearing. And why is that? So that I can talk without earphones to you. And I can talk to you without having earphones in my ears. And without an earphone, or as I can speak to you without earphones, and it's nice and beautiful microphone of the earphones. And I have better microphones, but make sure you understand that I can speak to you in a way that I never have to use earphones and a cable with a microphone to speak to you, because my phone has a microphone with my word I. I'm just saying that my word I, in terms of everything, is the word I. But you have to understand that my nice and beautiful phone has a microphone, so I never attach a cable to the phone to talk to you. And that's it. Virtually all that Mega Drive now has new information that you need, and you need new information now. Whereas now, because my voice is like this, I make sure I keep going. I make sure, although it's much more appropriate for myself to understand, it's more enough for me to deliver the content. So what I do is let it be. And also what I want to do is see Mega Drive as something now that actually helps you. And what you can do with Mega Drive now is you can play audio content in the background. Whereas now, since I understand my voice is breaking up like this, I need to keep going in a way that you understand me, in a way that it's going to be much better for me to just do that, because those who have deeper voices are stronger in what they're saying. So focus upon understanding that you need to realize that Mega Drive now is updating itself, and it's becoming more like audible.com, where you understand that you can read my beautiful contents in terms of video and audio now in the background as you're actually doing whatever you're doing. And it's the newest way, which is the best way. And it's more how Mega Drive can do all this online storage information and give you everything you ever want in terms of information to give to other people. And all they have to do is sign up to Mega Drive, and they can listen to all your content, which is that simple. Whereas now, I realize now what I do with the nice and beautiful way of my seminars is I get people to download Mega Drive right away. I show them quickly via their phones to tap into my link on Instagram. I show them then to go in my self-education program and to just look around. I just say look around, and that's it. Approach now, since I understand no matter what I do greater, I'm making sure now I want to go and do something much more to focus upon doing a greater life. But I could see Margaret Court has 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 titles of Australian Open. I can see that. Whereas now, if somebody has more than that out of the woman, Russia, guess what happens? Russia, her name is something that may go away. Russia, now, Jesus Christ says here, they can happen, Russia can happen, but she's on there because she's the one of Australian Open who has the most titles out of the woman alone. Russia, so they put Margaret Court Arena because of that. I mean, they make her name as Margaret Court Arena in terms of Margaret Court. And now she's the one who's Margaret Court, but they make Margaret Court Arena because if any woman can step up to win more than 11 championships in Australian Open, then guess what happens? I mean, suddenly they can change the name or they can let it be. But if it's an Australian woman who does it, suddenly the name can change to something else. That's it. Now let it be. Now I understand anyway that it's just a promotion of her until somebody can do that in terms of overtake her. And then guess what happens? They no longer have to promote her anymore. That's it. Then change the name to something else. That's it. That's all it is. Now do they change the name to somebody else who won that title, or do they change the name to
some random name, or what? I mean, what's happening? That's the thing. But is somebody going to overtake this? Apparently, somebody overtaking this. Apparently, Jesus Christ says that's to be seen. Apparently, I can believe that somebody can overtake that. I can believe that somebody can overtake this. And there's always somebody. Apparently, somebody's definitely I can see. I can see already somebody is overtaking Margaret Court in the championships. A little bit, but she's in history and a little bit. Whereas now Serena Williams is also someone famous in tennis, and she's in 2021. Whereas now, when I say everything in terms of I say everything I said is I only. And I focus upon understanding how far I've gone from other people. That I understand something. That if it's a negative road, in terms of going from other people, in terms of away from other people, it's the scariest road. Whereas the scariest road is going negative away from other people. Whereas that's the scariest road somebody can take. And it's never that you take. Whereas it's the scariest road somebody can take in a way that you never take. I mean, why is that? Because they're negative. Or else because they're negative. Whereas if they're negative, I mean, if you're positive, then you're never negative. But if you're negative, then guess what? Probably that's because it's very scary. But, or else if you are moving away from people to be positive, or that's the best road. Maybe I move into a nice and beautiful way to say Rod Laver is also somebody who has a Rod Laver arena. And now Rod Laver is somebody also who is still alive today. And honestly, it's Wikipedia here. And now Wikipedia is history and a history page of people or anything. In terms of statues or figures of life. I mean, let's have a look over here. I mean, how many Australian Opens does he have? Which now he has 3 Australian Opens that he's won. I see Rod Laver has won 3 Australian Opens. But guess what? I realize Novak Djokovic has 7 Australian Opens. And more. Now I realize now he has 8. I realize he has more than that. I realize although, guess what? I need to find out exactly how much he has. But either way, I realize now. Whereas Australia is promoting Australian people. And Australia is promoting Australian people. And that's out. So if somebody who is Australian who can overtake Rod Laver, Rod Laver is the only one now who has 3 Australian Opens in Australia. Whereas that's different. And that's why his name's still up there. But Novak Djokovic is different now. And that's why I understand that now. I can see it differently. Let's say I can see Rod Laver is winning many titles in here. I can see he's winning many titles around here. But anyway, whereas Rod Laver was born in the US. Whereas Rod Laver is a resident of California, USA. But is he really? Well, no. Well, he has a residence there, but he's born in Australia. Whereas now, there's a difference between residence. Now, if you have residency in some country, it's because you can live there as well. I mean, you can live in that country too. But residence it means that you can go to that country because you have residence or a property there. And you can live in that country. And that's it. Or else either way, I could see Rod Laver was born in 1938. Actually, that's before the World War II. I mean, he's still alive. He's still alive today. Well, there you go. Well, now, anyway, I'm making sure that I'm learning quickly about what's going on. I'm learning about different aspects of life over here. But making sure, anyway, that's done. Whereas now I can provide Rod Laver. Whereas all I want to do now is I have to go to Novak Djokovic to see his Wikipedia on my own. Whereas now he was recently playing and he did lose against Katarsev, or some Russian guy. And there you go. Whereas now what I do now is I just go and focus upon doing a greater life for myself. I want to understand something. I want to understand if you're going and really, really studying people, I understand Novak Djokovic is, let's say, 5 years older than me. I'm the youngest ever. Versus now, if you're relating people in age, then say they're older than you if they're more in age than you. Versus now, is that the case? Versus yes. Versus now, Jesus Christ says you could say so. But if they're calling you older, I mean, call yourself younger than the teenagers. And call yourself younger than the teenagers, and that's that. I mean, that's the way. Versus you can always say that. But if you say that other people are younger than you, versus now, Jesus Christ says, then he promotes you as being younger. I mean, in that sense, so either way, that way you're always younger. But you can always state that you're younger than everybody anyway. So realize you can speak however you want. I realize now, since I understand that, I can see exactly what I was doing in these times when Australian Open was going on with Novak Djokovic. Whereas now in 2008, I was a drug addict. I mean, in 2011, I was worse off. In 2012, I was worse off. I was worse off until 2019. Whereas no, I was worse off until 2016. In 2016, something began to shift in that time by that kind of schedule. But it's really the year, let's say the year 2017, or approaching from this point, I went uphill. From this point. I'm approaching now, anyway. I'm approaching from 1992 to the year 2000. Approaching, I was doing excellent from this point. Approaching from 2000 to the year 2017, I was going downhill. From this year. I was going downhill for 17 years. Whereas now, anyway, I could just state that in my nice and beautiful way of recollection. So 17 years, I was going downhill. I could say 8 years I was going uphill. Whereas it's all numbers. Whereas now, let's have a look. I'm always uphill. I'm uphill and more successful from 1992 to 2000. I can just see it. I can see this. In the golden age, man. Whereas now 2000 is the year where Teta became famous. And she was becoming famous with some music in 1998 to 2000. And she was becoming a star from this point. I mean, Teta is a Serbian singer. And now let it be. I want to see some other history. Version now, understand that. Anyway, version now, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Version has 9 titles. Version now, Novak Djokovic is the only one who has the most Australian Opens. And now Wikipedia is yet to, let's say, Wikipedia is yet to say that Novak Djokovic has the most Australian Opens. I mean, why? Why that? Now that's something that Novak Djokovic has to write down. I mean, Novak Djokovic has to write this down. He has to pursue this. I see Novak Djokovic has residence in Monte Carlo, in Monaco. And that's something where I want to go and see. I want to go see Monte Carlo. I say Monte Carlo, Monaco. I see Monaco, Monte Carlo. I can see over there the average living human being that lives is around 19, in terms of much more than that, but it's much more that the average death of Monte Carlo is around 89 years of age. I mean, in Australia, it's 82 years of age. I mean, Monte Carlo has the best death rate in terms of, let's say, people are living the longest over there in Monte Carlo. I can see it. I mean, on an average. And I see the way I realize Djokovic has a website. And he has a website, and that's excellent. I mean, everybody has to have a website. But I remember the times when I had no website. I seen all these people making websites. I'm like, what's happening here? In a sense, so I see Novak Djokovic always has different scenarios and there's different ways of doing stuff. So I want to see how he's doing stuff over here. So I'm just learning. I mean, he has an English and Serbian way of doing this. I mean, there's a different way of doing this in terms of doing different ways of whatever you're doing. As either way, I'm learning something. As I'm learning, I'm growing. I'm teaching something different. But I'm understanding anyway. What's important is I have to go and do greater. But I keep going. As he has all information about what's going on. And I see different, let's say, information about him. And it's his website. Whereas now, since he has all these different websites, I mean, people can see all the Novak Djokovic information here alone. But it's all the most important information about him, man. But she's in Monte Carlo playing the tennis game over there. See the social status over here. But that's all different. I'm probably she's making different social status here. Or people are making some kind of promotion of him on the line. I mean the Twitter, I mean it's all Twitter. It's all different kind of promotions here. And it's just his fans. I mean his fans are promoting him on this social media kind of site. And he's, I realize Novak Djokovic is famous. Whereas now, anyway, I'm Serbian too. I mean, he's Serbian, I'm Serbian. Or else we're both different. I'm the most famous Serbian in the world who does the most audio content in English. And the most content in the world about Jesus Christ and everything. I do the most life coaching in the planet. And I'm Serbian. I'm Croatian too. I mean now, Djokovic can never call himself Croatian. I can call myself Croatian. Whereas now Jesus Christ says for me to just let it be there. Whereas now, what's important is Jesus Christ says over here with my voice, it's more than enough. And I move on. And he says, let it be for now and let yourself heal your voice. I have to heal the voice that I have. Whereas now, when I heal the voice, I should then start again and again and again. Whereas Jesus Christ says if you go too much, then he says that you can lose your voice totally. And Jesus Christ says that's good, but it's more that it can work out better for you this way. You understand? So what I do is I let it be. And since I understand now how much talking I've been doing, I understand I've been trying to push myself. I mean, anyway, what I can do is silently just talk to myself now, and I just keep writing my journal now. I write differently. And let it be.